Have you ever stood in front of your closet, fingers running along all those familiar fabrics, and wondered, is this still me? Maybe you pick up a blouse you've worn for years and hesitate. Should you keep reaching for it? Or is it time for a change? I know that feeling well, and honestly, so do so many of my friends. It's as if one day, our style doesn't quite match who we are inside anymore. Let me tell you a secret that took me years to learn. You don't need to chase after youth or follow every new trend on Instagram. It's about the little things, tiny, almost invisible habits we pick up without noticing. Some of those habits actually end up hiding our light, even though we just want to feel confident and true to ourselves. So today, I want to walk through 7 of those small habits that can dull our sparkle, and more importantly, show you just how simple it can be to bring back a bit of that fresh, vibrant feeling. No drastic changes, no pressure to reinvent yourself from head to toe. Just gentle, thoughtful tweaks, using pieces you already love. As I share these, I hope you'll recognize yourself in a story or two. Maybe you'll even laugh at something that sounds just like your own routine. And if any of these ideas inspire you to try something new, even just for a day, I'd love to hear about it. Ready to see if one of these habits has been hiding your natural confidence? Let's start this together and rediscover that joy of getting dressed for you. Let's start with something most of us do without even realizing it. Hiding behind comfort. Picture this. You wake up, not quite feeling your best, and reach for that oversized sweater or loose cardigan. It's cozy. It covers everything you might want to keep private, and it almost feels like a shield. I used to live in baggy layers. On days when I didn't want to be seen, they felt like a safety blanket. But after a while, I realized something. The more I relied on shapeless clothes, the less I recognized myself in the mirror. It was as if my body, and even my energy, got lost somewhere under all that extra fabric. A friend once joked that she could hide a whole basket of laundry under her favorite cardigan. It made us both laugh, but it was true. I was missing out on my own silhouette, and honestly, a bit of my confidence too. If you've ever felt the same, I encourage you to do a little experiment. Pick one day this week to choose an outfit that gently follows your shape. Nothing tight or restrictive, just something that fits your shoulders and softly defines your waist. It could be a lightweight jacket, a softly tailored shirt, or even a belt over a favorite dress. Then take a moment in front of the mirror. Notice how you stand, how you move, maybe even how you smile at your own reflection. Did you feel any different? If so, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment or tell a friend. And remember, you deserve to show up as yourself, not hide behind layers. Let's move on to something subtle but surprisingly powerful: the neckline. How often have you buttoned your shirt all the way up, or chosen a high neck top, simply because it feels safe or proper? I used to think it looked polished, but over time, I realized it sometimes made me feel closed off, even a little older than I really am. I'll never forget the first time I tried wearing a gentle V-neck instead of my usual buttoned blouse. I didn't expect anyone to notice, but my neighbor actually asked me if I'd gotten a new haircut. All I had changed was the neckline. With just a little skin at the collarbone, my whole face seemed brighter. My neck looked longer, and, best of all, I felt lighter. If you've always favored closed necklines, why not try this? Next time you get dressed, skip that last button, or reach for a shirt with a softer, open neckline. Take a selfie, or ask a loved one if they notice anything different. You might be surprised by the compliments, or by the way you carry yourself. If you've already made this change, I'd love to know. Did you notice a boost in confidence too? Sometimes, it's the tiniest shift that gives you a fresh new outlook. Now let's talk color. Raise your hand if you've ever looked down and realized you're dressed in shades of oatmeal, beige, or pale gray from head to toe. I'm raising my own hand right now, because for years I thought these soft, neutral shades were the safest, most flattering choice. But after a while, I started feeling invisible. A friend of mine, Judith, is in her 70s and has always loved soft tones. She told me that, at some point, she realized her favorite beige sweaters and stone-colored scarves weren't doing her any favors. Then, one day, on a whim, she added a bold coral scarf near her face before heading out for coffee with friends. She was amazed. Every single person she met commented on her eyes, her smile, her energy. It wasn't the scarf itself, but the way the color brought her face to life. I want to challenge you. Pick just one item, a scarf, a necklace, or a pair of earrings, in a color that lifts your spirits. Wear it close to your face for a day. Take a quick selfie and look at yourself with fresh eyes. Do you feel a bit brighter? If a certain color makes you feel more awake or more like yourself, share it with me or with a friend. You never know. You might inspire someone else to step out of the beige comfort zone too. Let's look at what's on our feet for a moment. How many of us have that pair of super practical, chunky shoes sitting by the front door? Shoes we wear everywhere, but secretly wish felt a bit more stylish? I'll admit, I kept pairs like that for years. They were comfortable, sure, but every time I slipped them on, I felt a little weighed down. But something has changed lately. I see women in my own circle, my neighbors, friends, even women I meet at the grocery store, walking in beautiful flats, soft sneakers, or low boots that look as good as they feel. One friend, Nancy, swapped out her old heavy shoes for a pair of rose-colored sneakers and told me she suddenly felt playful again, like spring in my step. If you've been wearing shoes just because they're practical, I encourage you to do a little test. Next time you head out, try on a pair that actually makes you smile. Maybe something with a little color, or a pretty detail that catches your eye. Pair them with jeans or even a dress you love. Then, notice how you move throughout the day. Does a lighter, more stylish shoe give you a little extra confidence? If you find a new favorite, or rediscover an old pair you forgot you loved, let me know. Your story might inspire someone else to step out with a bit more bounce, too. Time for a chat about prints and patterns. Ever reached for a blouse covered in tiny florals or swirling paisleys, only to catch yourself thinking, didn't my great-aunt have curtains just like this? Trust me, I've had those moments too. We often choose what feels familiar, but sometimes those patterns can make us fade into the background instead of standing out. Over the past year, I started experimenting with different prints, stripes, polka dots, simple shapes in just 2 or 3 colors. It was a small change, but the effect surprised me. Even a basic top with clean lines and a subtle pattern felt fresh, current, and easy to mix and match. If you haven't tried it yet, here's something to play with. The next time you shop, or even just sort through your closet, hold a bold or modern print up to your face in the mirror. See if your eyes brighten, or if you find yourself smiling a little. Here's a small challenge. Wear a print that feels new or out of your usual comfort zone, even just for an afternoon. Pair it with something simple, like classic jeans or a cardigan you love. Then, let me know, did you feel any different? Maybe even share a photo if you're feeling bold. Trying new patterns is about celebrating your unique style, not copying anyone else. And who knows? You might find a look that's all your own. Now let's talk about a styling tip that changed my whole outlook. The tuck. I used to throw on my shirts or sweaters and let them hang loose over everything. It felt easy, effortless, until I saw a picture of myself and realized my waist had disappeared. A friend of mine, always so put together, showed me her secret. She just tucked in the front of her shirt. Nothing too fussy, no tight belts, just a gentle half tuck. Suddenly her shape looked defined, her whole outfit more intentional. I tried it myself and was shocked at how different I felt. Taller, even lighter. So here's your mini dare. Next time you wear jeans, trousers, or a skirt, tuck in just the front of your top, or loop a thin belt around your waist for a gentle highlight. No need to go full tucked in if that's not your style. When you check the mirror, pay attention to how your posture changes or how your confidence grows. If you notice a positive shift, even a small one, let me know. Sometimes it's the smallest tweaks that make the biggest difference. And now, let's talk about hair, the one feature that's always changing and at the same time, sometimes stuck in the past. For years, I wore my hair the same way, same cut, same part, same everything. Part of me was afraid to try something new. It felt safe, like a favorite old sweater. But lately, I've noticed more and more women celebrating their natural hair. Silver, salt and pepper, white, curly, straight, long, or short. There's something beautiful and bold about seeing a woman wear her hair with pride, no matter the color or style. If you're feeling ready for a small change, try this. Tonight, when you brush your hair, part it on a different side, tuck it behind your ear, or add a simple clip or headband. If you're feeling inspired, talk to your stylist about a gentle trim or a new layer. Nothing drastic, just enough to give you a sense of renewal. When you see your reflection, notice if you recognize yourself a little more. It's not about looking younger, but about feeling truly like you. And if you try something new, no matter how small, I'd love to hear what you did and how it made you feel. Every single time you choose a color that brings out your eyes, or wear a shape that makes you stand tall, you're making a quiet promise to yourself. I matter, I belong, I deserve to feel good right now. No one else needs to approve, and you certainly don't need permission. These tiny acts of self-kindness add up over time. They help you see yourself with fresh eyes and remind you that confidence and joy aren't reserved for any age. They're yours, whenever you choose them. So which of these little changes speaks to you most today? Is there one you want to try this week? A new color, a half tuck, a softer neckline, or maybe just a fresh way to wear your hair? I hope you'll pick one and see how it feels. Let's celebrate those wins no matter how small. And remember, if you do try something new, let me know in the comments or share a picture. You might just encourage another woman to do the same. What's your favorite tip from today's list? Or maybe you have a style trick that always makes you feel good. If so, please share it below or send me a quick message. Your experience is valuable, and you never know who you might inspire. Here's to finding joy in the little details and showing up every day as the best, most real version of you.